First, I'm Margaret Ann Windsor, and I wanted to say hi if the French Canadians that were here today were here in part on my behalf. I don't know. I do know that back when I was on the trail years ago, starving and freezing, when the Brits were there and some Americans, but there were French from Quebec that showed up over time there too and helped. And I began to understand that a lot of the French Canadians in Quebec actually were trying to help me. They were in there trying to help too. And that means a lot to me. Uh, anyway, I wanted to get this in. I've been putting up here about having an autoimmune disorder, and I'm Edward VIII's daughter, married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, my mom. She was queen in 36 till the United States and part of my own people and the global government, the Illuminati, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers that control your banking, the banking, uh, and the Archbishop of Canterbury, Cosmos Lang, and the Kennedy clan helped take down my father with absolute lies that are still going on today and being brought back up. That's not my father they're using as marrying Wallace Simpson. That's a double and imposter that became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. Elizabeth is always known. She's known she's illegal. She's known my father was married to my mom. She knows that the double died in 72 and was buried at Frogmore, Windsor Castle. She knows I'm the real queen. My father was forced to abdicate because of the lies. He wouldn't go along with the Illuminati and take orders from him. He had integrity. And I began to wonder if it all the integrity was given to him and this silly bunch, Elizabeth, her father and mother, who was a Rothschild, that helped plan my kidnapping in 39 when I was born. They took down my father, replaced him with a double, for God's sake, that's still being used today with Meghan and Harry. And how, if the truth's ever told, can you imagine this? To kidnap a monarch's daughter who was queen the day I was born. I'm the legal heir. Put me over here in Moulton, Alabama. Put me in a dump site. Through it all, you'd have to put it out there, and it would shame the heck out of everybody here. Then, the problem with all this is the United States was the perpetrator in this. They helped take my father down. They were part of the Freemason Illuminati. They don't like the fact that it's almost like I'm the villain. How dare me tell about my kidnapping? How dare me tell what this country's done to me, that they really invaded the UK and they used my silly uncle, illegal George VI, to do it because he had no ethics. And neither did his daughter Elizabeth. They represent the Illuminati. They don't work for the Brits, and they do not have that title. It's illegal. They're war criminals. Instead, they're being treated like out of some fairy tale, To hell with the inheritance, how you inherit the monarchy, is who can commit the biggest crime and get away with it and wear this crown and run around with bouquets in their hands and buy horses and live this exorbitant life, even though doesn't belong to her. I'm speaking to Elizabeth Mountbatten, Windsor Mountbatten. Her last name is Mountbatten. She is not the Queen of England. She's a fraud. That whole bunch is. It's beyond me to look back in what's been done to me, finding out about my kidnapping in late 83, I ran in a political campaign, a U.S. political campaign. I've told the truth in this. You can't tell the ugly, horrible, horrific crimes committed against my sons, Mark and Scott, who are heirs after me, and to me, much less my father and mother. My father never married Wallace Simpson. She married the double and became the illegal Duke and Duchess of Windsor. He died in 72, as I said. My father and mother were still alive October the 20th of 1986. Now, I don't get up in the morning and have someone set my hair for me or fix it or fix my breakfast. Hell, I usually don't even have much breakfast, much less the rest of the day. What I eat, as you can tell, is pasta sides, which have calories, and I can't exercise anymore. I've gotten to the point where it's hard for me to get around. I don't know where my children are, Mark and Scott, and you know, I am really hated. It's beyond me how people have treated me. They really, I was told this, why don't you just vanish? They don't, I pray that all this will end with having to tell the truth this year with Meghan marrying Harry. First of all, my father, well, you have to know the crimes committed against me and my children. And let me just stop here. I'm just going to say this is why I started this tape today, this video, because the Canadians were out there, French Canadians. I'm not sure they even know who I am, but I know that the Canadians, French Quebec, were on the trail and helped me a lot, and they, I remember what they said to me. I have to wonder whether all the crimes committed against me, and so many people knowing it, not just on Facebook and YouTube, that I have told about these last years being deliberately kept homeless. And I know this is not going up very well. I don't have someone, a pro, doing pictures of me. They're on a little bitty camera here that's a real cheapie, okay? Excuse me to the Aaron. Nobody will understand that one unless this is told either. But anyway, let me try to get my thoughts back together here, as bad as I feel. Being kept homeless and in crimes that you wouldn't commit on the ugliest, horrible criminal in the world. But I've been telling about having an autoimmune disorder for so long, and telling about the crime. Since I can't get an attorney, and you can understand why. The Illuminati, Rockefellers, Rothschilds, the Kennedy, JFK helped kidnap me. His son came up on the mountain, and when I was living there and had starved and frozen over the winter, just to see how they made me live was his words. Well, he was with his cousin, who is the son of Jackie's sister. And someone told me, and I read where he died a few years after they were up there making fun of me, how they made me live. His father helped in my kidnapping. His dad was Joe Kennedy, who was sent there in 1936 as ambassador to England by Roosevelt. So you got Roosevelt, you got Winston Churchill burning the files, made heroes out of these crooks, killers, war criminals, out of Uncle George. What a ugly, it's a wonder I don't choke saying uncle. What kind of people are these? Ask yourself. And what are the people that let it happen? Back to this, though, I'm thinking about the French sent supposedly airstrikes, helped Trump and the Americans. And I hope Trump's not a part of the Illuminati. I hope that he does the right thing in all this. I have been telling about chemicals being used on me to make me run, and that's been constant since I came here in '86. Over time, when I'm made to inhale toxic fumes, it triggers my immune system to shut down. Besides how it makes me feel, I feel absolutely horrible fighting to live another day. And people think it's funny because they don't, well, I better not say that. They don't, mine is something they can pretend isn't real and call me names, even though my doctor says so and the records support it and all that. I'm allergic to chemicals. And over time, it'll take out your kidneys, your heart, your veins in your legs. And I'm forced to inhale them and run from one place to the other. Denied money, made a pauper. And if I died today, they would do me like they did Anastasia, and that was Anastasia. So all you people that took me down off of Victoria the first, great grandchildren, like it or not, that's who I am. And I hope she's not like you all. They call me names, and you've all denied me rather than trying to help me. You've denied me any pleasure in the world, even my name. And by the way, the O'Keeffes, I don't think they did anything like that has been done to me. My grandparents were dead when I was born, the O'Keeffes. But Mary, it's my understanding, unless it's a lie, she was a part of taking her own son down. She didn't like my mom. My mom was a, quote, commoner. Well, kiss my grits. What do you think you did to me? You all, and she was part of it. You put me in a pigsty over here, and you allowed your grandchild, the real monarch, Victoria II, like it or not, to live in filth, be so abused, and that's why you don't want to tell it. So here's what I'm going to say. If everybody around here knows it, they have in Atlanta, they have in Huntsville, Alabama. I was taken to Moulton and given another name at age 2 in 1941. And hell no, I don't like what you've done to me. The fact is, the Americans don't want to admit their culpability in all this. And they actually get mad at me. How dare you tell us all this like it's my fault I was kidnapped, my fault all this happened, and my money came in here to keep me alive and help support this country when they went over, invaded my country with illegal treaties. They helped put Elizabeth in an office that's not hers. The treaties are not right. They're illegal. Notice all the things that happened after my father was taken down in 36 and I was kidnapped in 41, because there was an addendum to this forced assassination. They assassinated his character with lies. Used a double to do it, and Mary Wallace. He had nothing to do with that American whore. And I'm going to use the words that are correct. Elizabeth's sitting up there like she's God Almighty. She's not. She's committed every crime in the book, and she should be. There's nothing bad enough. I hope there's God. He's the only one can do it, can make her and that bunch and the people, the Kennedys, pay for their crimes. Now, I want to get back to this. Trump sent the UK, said we owed the United States. Who invaded who? You invaded my country, took down my father. Some of my own people helped you. You kidnapped me and tortured me all my life, and I'm really where I'm sitting. I'm afraid there's people outside can hear it, and nobody wants to hear this. They want to go on pretending the United States is this great country of good people. You can be good when you're like William and Kate, and I'm going to go ahead and say it, Diana and Elizabeth, and you're using my money to give to charities. Hell, I'm the charity. I'm the one that you made a pauper and lived on the side of the street and up in the mountains and just trying to survive and live and hope I can see my children while you flaunt yours. And people love you. You're a crook. I have to wonder what the hell has it all come to. Nobody wants the truth. They say that, and no, they don't. So I want to say, get to this part. I have been force fed chemicals. I have had things, if they're ever told, using chemicals too, but there's a whole other side of this. It's like they've made my environment kill me. I want to bring in Anastasia. Yes, that was Anna. And she died, was murdered. They haven't told the truth about that, and I had the papers on that and gave it to everybody, the court documents, and nobody would print it. Your media is controlled, like Trump said. Here's the problem. I hope Trump was a nice guy, not part of the Illuminati. And maybe he would finally tell this about what's been done to me, to the Brits. Look at what the Brits, we were made to fight against ourselves. The treaties after the day I was born Victoria II, heir to the British Crown, and it's legal. The papers were legal and brought up. My father never meant to leave. He was forced out with lies and a bunch of hoodlums, mafia. Got that, Kennedys, Rockefellers, Rothschilds control your banking. So the France was made to, well, I don't know if they were made. France is not dumb, you know. They have to know about some of this. They were affected by the war. It was after then the Jews took back Israel, and all these illegal treaties were made, and the United States invaded Great Britain under the guise of saving us. They kidnapped, they got the monarch over here begging, being tortured, and my children. They took out my father with lies. You'd think they'd be so proud of it, they'd spread it all over hell's half acre. Instead, they're going in to Syria, and they're claiming to have gone in because of the chemicals that were used by Assad. They're going to take him out. Beg pardon. Hey, I'm here. They've been used on me every day and night of my life. Since I came here and before. Oh, yes. And if you have to look at it, I hope you do. I'm a person too, and my life has been ruined by you all, and you're going to make my country, the UK, send airstrikes into Syria when you're over here using chemicals on me, toxic. Just because they didn't kill me at one time. It's been done over years and years, and that's just I guess, the least of what you've done to me and my sons. So, excuse me if I turn around and say, oh, you expect God bless America? Maybe God should save the Queen, the real one, and if the people from Quebec, I don't know that the people here had anything that they even know who I am, but they were here yesterday too. Doesn't matter. I want to thank the people of Quebec who did stand behind me and help through this. I really do, and the Canadians. And unbelievable how you can send planes in and use the UK, especially when you got the real Queen sitting over here being chemicals used every day of my life, destroying my body. It's all in how you did it, and you can play, hey, let's pretend we're the good guys and you don't dare say anything or we'll just call you a nutcase and we'll just pour more into you and make you inhale it. It's been done in plain sight with me begging. So I guess that's all I have to say for today, and I hope somebody doesn't knock at my door and handcuff me and pretend this has all been just a fantasy.